1 John 1:8 speaks about unconscious sin. Now when John says we, he includes himself, and he's 95 years old, having walked with God for 65 years, spirit-filled man. If we say we have no sin, we are deceiving ourselves. The only person who can say I have no sin is the one who can say I become like Jesus 100%. Nobody can say that. Not even John at the age of 95. So if we say we have no sin, we are deceiving ourselves. That's what I mean by saying till the end of our life there will be some sin in us, but we should be discovering it more and more and more, like conquering the land of Canaan more and more and more. Now this is different from committing sin, which is mentioned in verse 10. If anybody says I've never sinned, that is conscious sin. He's just deceiving himself. But if we say we have no sin, he's a liar rather. But if we say we have no sin, we are just fooling ourselves. But then it says here this unconscious sin is taken care of in verse 7. If we walk in the light. Have you read verse 7 properly? Let me explain it to you slowly. If we walk in the light as God is in the light, we have fellowship with God. Now how can you have fellowship with God if there's sin in your life? But the blood of Jesus cleanses us from all sin. Which sin? Not the sin you're consciously committing. If you're consciously committing sin, you don't have fellowship with God. You're not walking in the light. You're walking in darkness. 1 John 1:7 is referring to unconscious sin that is cleansed by the blood of Jesus so that you can fellowship with God. So if we walk in the light as God is in the light, it means, Lord, I'm not aware of any sin in my life and I have wonderful fellowship with God. We can live like that every day. But I acknowledge there is still sin in me. 1 John 1:8, unconscious. The blood of Jesus takes care of that, so that it doesn't hinder my fellowship with God. That's how we must live. The first story is that always living with a clear conscience. Husband and wife. Always live with a clear conscience before God, because that is the way to a happy married life. You build your second story on the first story. So don't just attend marriage seminars where they tell you how to relate to each other. Start with God.